So here in my hands, I hold a 1-of-1 Game Boy Advance SP. This here is the rarest SP I think I've ever seen. It's certainly, you've never seen one like this
Never
before.
seen one like this.
And that's because it is the most butt ugly Game Boy Advance SP that I've ever seen. He's seen a lot of SPs. This is the perfect opportunity to show people why you shouldn't pass over stuff like this when you see it. Before I show you the actual, how bad it is, let's talk about where it came from.
Yeah, so this came from a flea market here in Sacramento. Yeah, flea market special. This is the Raymond edition SP, as the person that owned it before carved his name into it. Right?
I mean, that's some art right there.
It is.
What happened here, though? Is this colored with a Sharpie?
It appears to be colored with a Sharpie, carved into, scraped to hell.
Yeah.
It is the roughest SP I've ever seen.
It is certainly...
And you saw some food in it too, right?
I think that's a booger.
Yeah.
I think that's a book, and there might be another sneeze booger there. Like maybe he was like trying to protect his screen, and he was like...
Oh yeah,
and just blah. I mean, it's so bad.
That's disgusting.
This is so bad.
You know what? I'm not going to be surprised if we find larvae again.
Oh God, no,
you know?
no
like
more.
Last time, man. Who knows?
Okay, so I gotta ask though, when you find something like this, what typically do you pay for something like this?
That one was about $5.
$5, okay? And this right here is why when you see stuff like this, you should salvage it. It's so important. If it didn't sell, likely was gonna get thrown away.
Yep.
And we're about to show you exactly what this dirty old ugly $5 Game Boy Advance is gonna look like.
Absolutely.
It's going to blow your mind because personally it's one of my favorites that you do.
Oh yeah.
So without further ado, you ready to show us exactly what we're doing here?
What we're gonna do is turn that ugly duckling there and turn it into a beautiful
Look at that.
Pikachu.
That is awesome. The Pikachu, it even has a little like outline silhouette of Pikachu down there. I love the color yellow that this is because it's almost like a transparent. You could even see through the shell a little bit and see the background of the speaker.
So one of the things about the SP that's really nice, there's tons of accessories that you can add on to these. You can put some really nice shells, tons of options, LED lights on the buttons, IPS screens, which we know we've done before on other consoles. Just a lot of great things.
Are we rescreening this one here?
We are going to rescreen that one.
So this Dr. Mod's going to show you how to reshell and rescreen with a brand new IPS screen. The other thing, he's going to show you a little preview of one more special mod that really makes this edition of the SP really pop. You're going to want to stick around to see that because I think it's really, really cool.
Yep, he's hiding a secret.
Yep,
We're gonna
like
show
always.
Yep.
All of your stuff, there's always secrets being hidden there. All right, well, let's
dig in.
Let's get down to business. I feel like I need hand sanitizer. Somebody really put a lot of love into this.
And a lot of marker,
I wish that the old handhelds had some sort of like airplane black box, you know, where like it's destroyed, but we can look in there and see like, wow, they put 500 hours into leaf green or something like that. Or, you know, that's all stored on the cartridge, unfortunately. So unless we had old Raymond's cartridges, we have no idea. Maybe he just really liked the idea of carrying it around. He never actually played it. Let's get to it, though.
All right, let's start. Yeah, so we have a little shell kit, Pikachu shell kit here, brand new. It's going to have everything we need to reshell it. We're going to put an IPS screen right here, brand new battery.
Brand new battery, all right. So what do we need to get this party started? What tools, you know, for the PlayStation video, if you haven't seen the PlayStation reshell and what we found inside. Update real quick. I played around with the PlayStation shell from the last video, and you know, when you were reshelling it, you lifted the top off and put it to the side, and then we saw the larvae. But what we didn't do is look under here.
Oh no.
I found out what those larvae belong to.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh. Looks like we found the culprit. They were maggots. Turns out there's the fly right there. He's stuck in a cobweb, and there's even another larva right there.
Poor little guy didn't have a chance.
All right, so there's your update from the And look, we still have the larvae.
Oh, lovely.
There.
Wonderful.
Oh, disgusting.
Completes the console.
Referring back to that video,
Yeah.
we only used one tool.
Yeah.
That was a Phillips head screwdriver. Where are we sitting here?
Two tools.
Two
this
tools.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's nice is a lot of these shell kits like this, they're going to give you the tools with it a lot of the time.
Yes,
so
they do.
we already got our little tri-wing screwdriver and then our Phillips head here. That's all we're going to need to open it up. So let's first dismantle this hideous Game Boy Advance SP.
Yeah.
And then we'll transfer it to its new shell.
And while you're doing that, I do want to let people know there is a difference, even though sometimes you don't realize, there's a difference between a tri-tool and a Phillips head screwdriver. A Phillips head screwdriver is a cross.
Yep.
A tri-tool is quite literally 3.
Yep.
It's not 4. Don't stick a Phillips head screwdriver into your tri-head screw. You will strip it.
Yep, you don't want that.
We've done that.
It'd be hard to
I've
get it
done
open after that. Yeah. To start with, we'll use the tri-wing, which is this one right here, and we'll take out these 4 first. So we'll loosen these up. I'm not so interested in keeping the screws this time because our new kit's going to come with brand new clean screws, and these are a little crusty looking. And we're going to take this one off. Oh.
There is some stuff coming out of this. I feel like we should have gloved up on this one.
Yeah, I'm a little worried I'm going to get a staph infection from
I'm
this
glad
thing.
that you're protected.
All right, and then we're going to take this screw out here.
So there's so much crap in these screw heads, I can't tell which one's Phillips and which one's the
tri-wing.
The tri-wing screw. Yeah,
it ended up being a tri-wing.
Oh, it is a tri-wing.
It is a tri-wing, yeah.
Right.
And then this is the last one right here. So you got we took out this one. We're going to get this one next. This is the last screw. Holding the bottom of the case together. Pull this out. There we go. It's a shorter screw. So here, got all the screws out. Pop this guy out, the bottom out. There we go.
Ooh.
There's your bottom.
Oh my God! Look at this.
Oh.
What is that? Is that the power button?
That is the volume.
Volume?
Button.
Wow. Oh, Raymond really got after it. There's grains of like sand?
I have no clue.
That
man.
is really something.
We're going to need some alcohol and a Q-tip.
We're going to need to clean this thing real good.
Yeah, look at all that dust and stuff in there.
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
This is the crustiest Game Boy SP of all time.
It is by far the dirtiest. This is the dirtiest I've ever seen a handheld.
So, hey, you want to know something cool?
Yeah.
Take a look at this. See this thing right here?
Uh-huh.
There's a little lever. And this is what tells your Game Boy Advance to go into Game Boy Color mode or Advance mode. So when you put in a Game Boy Color or a Game Boy game, it triggers this switch and switches it into that mode.
Interesting.
You know how I figured that out? I had one of these that was so crusty the switch was stuck. So it was always in it was in Game Boy Color mode. I'm like, why is it doing that?
So what happens when you try and play a Game Boy Advance game?
It wouldn't register.
It just doesn't play.
Because the little lever was pushed in all the way.
Interesting.
That's how I found out. And so on this is the last Game Boy Advance that was backwards compatible to Game Boy and Game Boy Color. And that little lever is how it switches modes. The cartridge triggers that when it goes in.
Backwards compatibility, folks. It's not always as easy as you think for the companies to make their stuff backwards compatible.
Let's get these 3 screws out. That's what's holding the motherboard
tiny
on.
Little screws.
They are, and you got to be careful when you put these back. You want to use these really small ones when you put them back, okay? You got all the 3 screws out for the motherboard. Next you're going to do is you're going to lift it up, and there's our speaker. Let's get this guy out. Stuck to it.
Wow.
That's our speaker.
This is crusty as hell.
Our speaker cover, which that was sticky.
Wow.
Yeah, that doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. And then we got our rubber membranes here that we got to kind of peel off out of the way.
Do we reuse those?
No, the new kit will come with brand new ones.
Okay.
So we got to unplug this next. That's the cable to the screen. So you're going to see 2 tabs, one on each side. Pull them down. And there you go. Your motherboard's free. That is a Game Boy SP
Let's take a look at
Advance
this.
SP motherboard.
There it is. There is your Game Boy. That's the parts that really sort of matter.
Yep.
In your Game Boy Advance SP, and it is dirty as heck. Yucko. Okay.
Yeah. So got that out. Now we got to get the hinges out of this. Take this screw out. This is a Phillips head, and that's holding the little piece here on top, and we just pull that out. Okay, since we're going to do a complete teardown of this, we're also going to take these screws out here that hold the screen in.
Okay.
These should be tri-wing. Oh, somebody replaced this before. The screen is held on, it looks like, in this particular model with Phillips head screws. So let's go ahead and use that and use our Phillips head and get those out. These are going to be smaller screws, okay, not as long. And there's going to be 5 total that we have to remove. So here's 3 gone. So usually you'll have some rubber pads that are over these. This one, the guy had taken them out, whoever owned it before. Gonna need something kind of thin and sharp to pry in there and get these rubber pieces out. Chris, you got that handy
Yeah,
dandy,
yeah. How about our Amazon special toolkit?
Oh, right.
Or, you know, you could always just steal my wife's tweezers.
That always works, yeah.
How about these sharp little tweezers?
That's
Will
perfect.
that work?
Yeah, these will work perfect for this
All right.
application. Let's just pry that in there, get that guy out. There we go.
So if we're reshelling and we're replacing the screen, what here needs to be removed?
Well, I'm trying to get this out of the way because I'm going to try to salvage the screen to repair another one.
Okay.
So I'm trying to salvage the
So
screen.
the screen on this one is actually totally salvageable.
Yeah, it's salvageable, and I like to keep them to repair people's. Some people want their original screen back in their Game Boy, and theirs is damaged.
Yeah.
So I like to keep these to repair others. You know, I don't want to
Salvage things, and that is a decent screen that's in there
absolutely.
to begin with. So if the screen is good, salvage the screen and save the screen, because some people do ask for the original screen.
Absolutely, and I'm all for that. So you know, if somebody wants that, I'll do that for them and get that fixed. So okay, so we got all the screws out. Put this down. Some dead skin cells holding this
Oh
together.
my God, I heard it.
Oh, what's that?
Look at that. What is going on
Look
in
at this. Oh, God. So to get the screen out, just lift it upward like this. Very careful. These ribbons are very fine.
Yeah, they are. I broke one.
Yep. So we will use this on another Game Boy in the future.
There you go.
Look at how dirty and
That is nasty.
look at all the.
No. Oh, no.
So now we got to get the hinges out. These are a little tricky.
So do you have to get the hinges out of this
Yeah,
thing?
we got to use them on the new shell. They don't,
Really?
Yeah, you can buy these. You can buy these reproduction. I find them to not be the same quality as the original. What I do is I apply a little pressure with a screwdriver while rotating the screen and try to pop it out. Okay, and sometimes they go flying. There we go. See how I popped it a little bit?
Yep.
Then get it to this angle and pop. There you go.
Boom.
Oh, right
There it
off the
goes.
table. So we'll go find
right.
that later. And then I try to keep track of which side it belonged to.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna pop that a little bit, rotate it, apply a little pressure with the screwdriver, just a little bit. There we go.
Boom.
Out. So here comes the fun part. Well, that was kind of fun taking it apart. You can see it's not that hard. Let's get our new fancy shell opened up. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is put that screen in. Look at brand new stickers. Brand new screen protector. Somebody used that on that other one to repair it. So yeah, we've got a little Pokemon center sticker to put on it. Got a nice new, perfect. It's a 101 model sticker.
There you
Which is
go.
what this was. So got those, and then here's our new shell, our new rubber pieces for the screen, our little Nintendo logo, and our screws. I'll start putting it together. Let's start with the screen.
All right.
Grab our new IPS screen, and then what I like about this one is it has several brightness adjustments that you can still use the original brightness button on the SP to use, but also it's got touchpads here to also adjust the setting. So we're gonna go ahead and open this, and then we'll peel our plastic back here. Look how clean that is. Look at that. And it's glass too.
Yeah, I love it.
So it's going to last. We're going to put that face down in here. It fit perfect. Fits like a glove. And then we're going to start rolling
this
this.
is the part that I hate the most.
This is delicate. These don't want to mess this part up. This is getting the ribbon cable wound up so it's ready to go in. You don't want to pinch this when you're putting this back on. And basically that's it. We put it together like that and we'll start putting the screws in. We got those 5 screws we got to put in. Want to make sure we use the right length. We don't want to use the long ones, okay? Because they'll go right through the shell. So let's start getting these guys out. It's going to be harder to see with the yellow right there. Let's put it here in the black area of the table. And we're going to get our thinner ones. So let's separate them by size. All right, so you see we have all our little components separated here on the tabletop. And so we're going to start putting the screws for around the screen right now. They're Phillips head, and we'll start putting that in. Okay, screen is done. So now what we want to do is put those rubber pieces to cover
the little
screws.
grommets back into the screw holes.
Yeah,
Yep.
so this kit comes with some brand new nice ones.
Ooh, some yellow ones.
Yeah,
That's nice.
It's going to blend in nicely with the plastic. So put these in here. They got some adhesive on them already. You just push down for a couple seconds and they'll grab really good. So that one looks pretty nice. Okay,
There we
so
go.
that's all done. Screen's done. Now we gotta get ready to put it on to the main shell. So this little cardboard spacer to hold everything in place. One thing we might want to do at this time is put the little plastic piece for the LEDs, the little clear piece here, and put that in place here. That goes right down in there. Line that up. That's for your battery indicator. Tells you if it's charging.
It'll also tell you when it's dying.
Yeah, that looks nice. It's in place.
Yep.
At this point, we're gonna run this guy.
This is where I really boogered up the very first one I ever did.
So you want the cable to go through this slot right here.
It's a really important step.
Yeah.
It's very delicate. I ended up ripping the ribbon cable. on my son's Picachu DS.
No.
And I thought, well, I screwed it up. There's no repairing this, and I threw it away.
Oh.
Yeah, that was shameful. But that was some years ago. I thought for sure it was broken for good.
So we got this wrapped around correctly. Now we're going to put this over it. Okay. And then we're going to rotate it around here. And it's going to take a Phillips screw, okay? Grab one of these guys and put it in there. Okay. Oh, this is trying to pop out. And then from there, we want to start to put the hinges back. Okay.
You set them aside. Each side has its hinge next to the old dirty case, and it gave you nice new brown colored end caps.
Yep. It looks like there's a little bit of excess plastic here. I'm going to try to remove that with my nail here. And so what we're going to do is, so let's get the old cap off the side of it, which just slides right off, see, like that. And then we're going to go ahead and put our new cap in there. And it lines up. There's a little notch here. You want to line that up. Slot there and slide that in place.
Wow, such tiny pieces.
Yep. So we're going to want to line this up. See the notches here? There's a part right here that lines up with this slot here. So line that up, push it in. Okay, go ahead and get started. And once you do that, start to push in while rotating the screen out. Okay? See how it just snapped?
Yeah, look at that.
And then do it further until you feel it, and then just rock it back and forth until you feel it push all the way in place. See? Like that. See?
Wow.
Now it's in place.
Nice new brown hinge.
Yep. So let's take our other one. Same thing. Take this part, slide it off. Go ahead and slide in our new cap. Line up that notch. Rotate the screen while putting pressure. You should feel it pop into place. See? Popped into place. So now we got both our hinges in. You should feel it nice. See? That nice snap. See?
There we go.
So that's all fixed. That's all in place now. You don't have to solder it, but if you want to have more brightness settings, you do need to solder one point of the board.
Okay.
And it's a simple bridge from this point here on the ribbon cable to this point here on the board, which is right there. That's the point you're going to want to solder. So we're going to get the soldering iron out and we'll apply that real quick.
All right, so now that we have the soldering iron heating up, we should probably clean that thing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take some safety precautions here.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
I'm gonna put on my Dr. Mod glasses.
There you go. Now you're protected.
And, damn, is this what it looks like when you're trying to do stuff?
Yeah, dude,
oh
it does.
Oh my God.
Isn't it hard?
Wow. Okay, so we're gonna clean this thing.
Yeah, because you can see when you wear this kind of goggles, it's kind of like you're working underwater.
Yeah, a little bit.
Look at this. So we're gonna try to loosen up all whatever this is, this mystery substance.
Yeah, there's something going on there.
So let's
I don't know what that
let's
is.
get that brushed away. Let's get that all cleaned up, because I bet you that's probably, you know, if moisture gets in there, it'll trap in there and cause corrosion. Perfect. Now let's get this stuff that was here. Oh, look at that, came right off. Clean the switch, and that switch we talked about earlier. Let's get that cleaned up. And let's just get the board all cleaned up here. Nice little, look at all the stuff there.
Jesus.
There. Get that all cleaned up. And then we'll blow it off with the hand hurricane.
Give it the old blow job.
All right, ready?
Yeah, let's do it. This is why I put my protection on here.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Now nice and clean.
We're all cleaned up.
Yep. Solder iron's nice and warm now.
I think it's ready to rock and roll.
All right, there we go. Let's heat up this point here that we're gonna hook up our brightness. Get this solder out.
I'll keep my goggles on for solder protection.
Yeah, be careful. So remember this point right here that we outlined earlier, Q1, 2, B. Apply a little heat there, and you solder there. Tin that up so it's ready for the wire. There we go. And then you're gonna go ahead and grab this little wire that they gave us with the IPS. Tiny little Kynar wire here. And we're gonna go ahead and solder it to this point here. So there it is, a little solder. There we go. There we go. And that's in place.
Ta-da!
Let's put this guy back, and then we gotta solder one more point.
One more.
And that's this point right here on the ribbon. So what I do here, I'm gonna apply a little more solder.
Yeah, this is a way too small of a solder point for me.
Yeah, and with goggles on and no flux this time, it's gonna be tricky, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, there we go, a little solder blob there. And all we have to do is at this point, here, if you can hold it like that, I will bring this wire here and we will just solder it to that point there. Okay, so you're going to solder this point right here, the wire, and there you go. That's done. And I'm going to put the solder on our back.
All right.
And then now that I have this, and we got our point soldered, we're going to go ahead and put our speaker back in, okay?
We're done with the soldering iron?
We're all done with the soldering iron. That's the only thing you needed it for.
That's it?
Yeah. And you don't even have to. Like, that's if you want to have all the brightness settings.
If you want the brightness settings.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I want the brightness settings, so I'm going to take these off now.
Yeah. So let's put this speaker in. And there it is. And then we're going to line this guy back into the slot. The tabs down on the side of the ribbon cable. Okay?
Until you hear it click.
Until you hear it click. All right, and then what I do here, see this wire kind of loops? Put it under that part right there.
Under the one screw post.
Yep. Then bring this guy over. There you go. Push down. And then we're going to put our 3 small screws here to hold the motherboard to the shell. So those guys are right there.
All right.
And we're just about done.
And then we get to see the really special thing.
Oh yeah. Just these 3 screws. There we go. Now, what we're going to need to do here, this is the bottom part of the shell. We need to put our little retainer nut for the battery door. Line it up there and push down. There it is. And then we need make sure this is lined up here. This is our power switch. This is our power switch. I'm going to have that lined up with the power switch here. So he's going to go like that. And then we're going to bring it like this. And just push down. And there you go. Now we just got to put those last few screws in. Start with the long ones. These go in those 4 posts here. Let's get those in. Okay. And then the 2 smaller screws. Now this is important. You want to use the smaller screws here and here, or they'll go through the plastic.
You don't want to bust the plastic that you just spent money on.
It's a very thin area. So there we go. There's this screw. And then this is one of our last ones here. And then after this comes our new battery. And look at the wee little screwdriver they give you.
It comes with a little baby screwdriver.
It's adorable. It's like Pikachu can use it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get our new battery out. Go ahead and put the battery in. Brand new. Put the door in. It's going to be a Phillips. Okay. And that, we're almost done. We're just missing the...
Oh, we got to put some decals on.
Yeah, we do. So let's start with the Nintendo one. Give you a nice little Nintendo logo. It's got a little protective film on top. We'll take that out. So you had a little protective film. Look how shiny that is. It's like new. Take the backing off of it. Got the backing on that. Push that in here. And look at that nice new Nintendo logo on that.
Boom.
Beautiful. All right, and the last touch, our brand new sticker here. Line that up perfectly. Just get it down. And there we go. Got a brand new sticker there, and she's done. Went from this to that.
Look at that. And we only missed like 3 screws. Yeah, I would like to point out, in these kits, they do come with screws also, and sometimes you end up using screws from the original kit, like you kind of did here. We sort of looked through and maybe used a mix and match, because the screws on the new kits you should be careful of. Yeah. They don't always give you the right length screws. No. And sometimes, like you said, you drive that screw in and it drives right through the back of your new case. And so be cautious of that. And sometimes you do end up with leftover screws because they send you screws like somebody noticed in the PlayStation shell video. I think we did miss a screw there. Yes, we were aware of that. Sometimes you do miss screws and you have to take the thing apart and put stuff back in because, you know,
comes with the territory.
We're all human. Yeah. But just be cautious of the screws that you do get with the new kits, because you don't want to crack the brand new case.
Yeah, exactly.
That's terrible.
No, it makes you feel real bad.
So there you go. I mean, look at that thing.
Beautiful.
That thing went to a brand new. We got some juice. We do have some juice in that thing. Look at that. The Game Boy Advance SP holds a battery like nobody's business.
Oh yeah.
I had one in storage that I recently found. It's my original gray one, and I couldn't tell you the last time I played it. It had been at least 10 years. And just for fun, I turned it on. It hadn't been plugged in 10 years. It still the battery's still fired up.
Yeah. A lot of the batteries on these can be resilient. Some of them, they start to get like bulging.
They do bulge.
You'll see the little door lift up, and
Yeah.
but with this one, it didn't even have a battery. So we're like, we got to put a new one in. So.
All right. So as we promised, there is one more thing that you can do with this mod, or that you've done with this mod. You want to show people on exactly what it is?
Exactly. And you know, I think someday we'll do a video on how to do this.
Yeah.
But this little Pikachu, he has a little secret.
Yep.
It's inspired by the Nintendo 64 Pikachu edition.
If anybody remembers the N64 Pikachu edition, that was the yellow one that had Pikachu's face on it. That did what?
His little cheek slit up.
That's right. So what do you got here?
This little Pikachu.
Hey, look at that. Look at that. That is cool. And this is something that I mean, I'm assuming you just put some LEDs in there or something?
Yeah, put some SMD LEDs and wired it to the board, and you know, so when you turn it on, little cheeks light up. Yeah, it's a nice little added touch.
It is a very beautiful touch that you've added to that.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can do when you reshell. Just think about that. Let's look back to that original crusty old Raymond's crusty old Nintendo SP. Nobody would ever have known that ended up being this. You can save this sort of stuff, and it's really important. Let's do a quick tally here. Raymond's old SP you found at a flea market for $5. $5 for the console itself.
Yep.
What does the shell cost?
Shell, they run anywhere from 13 to 20 bucks.
13 to 20 bucks. Let's say 20 bucks on the high side. We're at 25 bucks into this thing so far.
Yep.
What did the screen cost?
Screen cost $50.
$50. So 75 bucks, you got yourself a brand new looking, limited.
And upgraded, you know?
Yeah, and upgraded SP.
Yeah, exactly.
All on something that somebody was likely going to throw away.
Exactly.
These sorts of finds are still really easy
to
spot out there. You can go to thrift stores, you can go to yard sales, especially with this spring coming up. People love to do yard sales. And you find stuff like this at yard sales all the time. And most of the time you can find super deals, you know, and people are getting ready to throw a bunch of stuff away. In fact, I recently saw a video online where somebody was walking past a curb and they just had garbage out, and in that box was an N64 and a bunch of N64 games, including the first Smash Brothers.
Well, you know, when I see something like this, the SP Raymond edition, the rarest condition I've ever seen.
The rarest SP that I've ever seen.
I mean, I've never seen one that rough. I saw potential, you know? I don't see something I would want to throw away. I see something I can make into something great, you know? And that's what we did with this. It looks great.
To be able to recognize something like that, it's very cool. So don't throw your old stuff away, repurpose it. You know, you can even add something like an Easy Flash to this.
Yeah, you can.
That would allow you to take a lot of your Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color and Game Boy games on the go.
And NES
in one
games.
Cartridge.
Yeah,
and NES games.
In one cartridge, yeah.
So there you have it. That is the rarest. I'm almost a little sad that we had to dismantle the one of one Raymond edition SP. But now it's a beautiful brand new looking Pikachu SP with a brand new display. Even though the display on Raymond's old machine here was usable, and you will use it in another machine.
Yep.
So if you're interested in reshells like this, you should check out the PlayStation 1 reshell that we did last week right here. And you should see exactly what we found in it. It's pretty gross. And if you don't want to miss videos like this in the future, or new releases of Dr. Mod's Lab, make sure you follow along right here and hit that little bell icon so you're notified when Pikachu comes to town. And what do you want to do now?
The same thing we do every night, Chris.
Try to take over the world.